In order to find the volume for any shape on the GED, the main thing you need is your good friend, the formula sheet. Because we could look up all the ones that begin with V, and then we just need to know what shape it is. Now in our case, we're talking about this basketball. And Pizza Hut used to give these out back in the day, but they would give them to you uninflated. So we want to find out what is the volume of air required to pump up this basketball if it has a radius of 4.7 inches. We're talking about the inside, therefore the volume. But any ball is the same thing as a sphere. So we'll go ahead and grab that guy. From there, we're going to type this into the calculator. We're just going to change the radius there to 4.7. So let's go ahead and see what that looks like here. Okay, we'll start with that 4/3. So we'll hit this fraction button here. Then 4, down 3, right to get out of the fraction. Then we have a pi. That's on the left side right there. Then times, they're all next to each other, so we'll multiply by the radius, 4.7. But that guy is to the power 3, so we'll hit that up arrow, 3, and we're good to go. Okay, enter, 434.89, rounding it up, same thing as B there. So that is our volume. By the way, this is how many cubes of air would fit perfectly inside this thing. So 434.9 of these cubes of air will fit inside there. Anytime you see to the power 3, it's representing a cube. Okay, let's look at another shape here. We've already eaten the top half of our ice cream cone, naturally, but there's still some melted goodness on the inside. How much ice cream can fit inside this cone? Now they tell us it's a cone. We're interested in the inside of it, so therefore the volume. We could look that guy up, and there it is. From there, we want to change the r, the radius, to a number, and h, the height, to a number. But if we look at the radius, they've actually given us the diameter, and that's what you're going to use. Because the diameter goes all the way across the circle. But the radius is exactly half of that. Half of 3, 1.5. So that is the radius. Or you can always divide the diameter, the full thing, by 2. That's another way to get the radius there. Okay, and then h, they've actually given it to us. They tell us it has a height of 5. So we know everything here. We're ready to go. Okay, let's do it. Let's clear. Starts off with a 1/3 this time. Anything that comes to a point like that is going to have a 1/3 in it, just FYI. Okay, then times pi. It knows they're multiplied because they're next to each other, so we didn't have to hit the multiply. But here's a good time to do it. Times the radius, 1.5. Notice this guy's squared. You're going to hit that x squared button. Okay, then times the height. We know that that guy's 5. Let's do it. Okay, enter. 11.78. But that's not one of the answers, so this one's actually impossible. No, just kidding. You just hit the button above enter right there, and that'll give us 15 pi over 4. Same thing as what we had. Same thing as A there. When you hit that button, it'll just switch between an approximate answer and an exact answer. Okay, board 3 now. Shout out to Facebook Marketplace. It's the only place that I buy barrels. Okay, we're talking about what shape here? Well, it's kind of like a soda can. That's the same thing as a cylinder. From there, we're going to find the radius and the height. But the radius, once again, they'll often give you the diameter. Diameter goes all the way across, so that's 1.7. But just like we did, the radius is exactly half. Let's divide 1.7 by 2. That'll give us 0.85 for the radius. Okay, so we know r now. But they've given us h. That's just 2.5. So we're ready to type this in. Okay, clear. We got our pi times our radius, 0.85. Notice that one squared again. We'll go ahead and use that x squared. Times the height, 2.5. Enter, 5.67. We're rounding it to the nearest cubic foot. So same thing, bump it up as d there. And we're eating cookies for breakfast. We're given the dimensions of the box here. Assuming that each little cookie is half a cubic inch, how many of them would it take to fill this box? The strategy is we're going to find the volume for the box. Then we're going to find out how many of those will fit into that volume. Now a box is the same thing as a rectangular prism. So to find that volume, we're going to multiply the length times the width times the height. Now we're given those values. It doesn't matter the order that we do it, so we'll just multiply them in the order that we have them. So we'll do 12 times 8 times 3. 288 is the volume of the box. But when you're trying to fit something into it, like these cookies, then you could always find out how many go into it with division. So we'll divide by 0.5. Therefore, 576 of these little cookies will fit perfectly in there. Of course, we know it's actually going to be half filled with air, but you can always pretend. If you're looking for a place to hide mummies, no better shape than a pyramid. But this time when we look up the volume, we notice this big B. That just stands for the area of the base. And the base is actually a square. To find the area of it, we're just going to multiply 12 times 12, the two sides. That'll give us 144. So now we know what big B is right there. But the height, of course, is just going to come straight up and down, so that's 8. By the way, if they give you a height, the slant height that comes along the side, that is not the droid you're looking for. We want the one that goes right into the middle. Okay, let's break out the calculator. We've got our 1/3 times our big B, 144, times our height, 8, and 384. Plenty of space to fill with mummies. And there's just one final shape here. It's this guy. Anytime that the top and the bottom are the same shape, it's called a prism. And if they're straight up and down from one another, it's a right prism. Now, big B is still the area of the base, but we're given the area of the top. Anytime that it's squared, that's an area. But of course, that's the same as the area of the bottom, so big B is just 28. Okay, then times the height, 4.5. So we're ready to go. We're just going to multiply those two. Let's do it. Clear, 28 times 4.5. And 126. So that is our final volume that shows up on the GED. Now it could be a different shape up top. It could be an octagon, but it's still going to be the same method. So between all these shapes, you'll be covered. Good luck. You got these. We'll see you in the next video. Toodles.